If you have heard of the famous TV show Mad Men, then you must be familiar with the image of the adult male during the 1960s. It was a time characterized by a glass of scotch in one hand, constant smoking, and an air of sophistication. This era was filled with a variety of men's magazines, or as they were called back then, girly magazines or skin magazines. They were not graphic by today's standards, but they were certainly abundant. These magazines were a window into the lifestyle and culture of that time, and we are about to take a closer look at 23 of them. As we delve into the photos, we are transported back to the 1960s, a decade that saw the birth of the iconic Lamborghini and the first use of the term Beatlemania. However, it was also a time marked by tragedy, as it was in October 1963 that President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. The 1960s was a unique period, and the men's magazines of the time reflect that. From a magazine named after a drink, to a photo of a woman coaxing a French waiter into having a drink, each photograph tells a story of its own. It's as if these images capture a time when things were simpler yet more mysterious. The 1960s was not just about the glamour of the Mad Men era, but also about the changing culture and the evolving society. These magazines were more than just pictures of scantily clad women. They often contained quality works by respected authors, making them a fascinating blend of art and culture. As we explore these photos, we are reminded of the American dream of the 1960s. It was a time when a man could leisurely sip his martini while browsing through these magazines and reading pieces on various topics. It was a unique convergence of entertainment, information, and culture. The rise of these men's magazines in the 1960s was the beginning of a cultural shift that would continue to evolve in the coming decades. Looking at these photos, we can't help but feel a sense of nostalgia and fascination for that era. It was a time when things were different, yet strangely familiar. The most exciting part is still ahead, so let's immerse ourselves in the images and reminisce about that era. As we journey through these photos, we have the opportunity to savor history and appreciate the changing cultural landscape of the 1960s. Thank you for joining us on this trip down memory lane. Cheers!